Dub Nation, take a deep breath with me, because today the conversation is serious. The 2025-26 season has begun with a promising 2-1 record, a start that proves Stephen Curry still refuses to bow to time, logic, or any prediction that dares to define his limits. Yet even with this encouraging beginning, a question lingers in every fan's mind. How long can this fire keep burning as brightly as it does now? How long can the Warriors look ahead and believe they are truly safe? Curry remains a superhero. The only difference is that his cape can no longer hide the ticking clock. He continues to perform at an MVP level, showing no desire to slow down or rest, but time never misses its target. One day, the deadliest three-point shot in basketball history will fall silent, and the arenas that once roared will grow quiet. The Warriors must be ready for that night when it eventually comes. That is why we must talk about a rumor, one that could reshape the NBA completely. This isn't a fantasy or wild speculation. It's a possible path. Giannis Antetokounmpo joining Stephen Curry in Golden State. Over the past few years, the Warriors have often been linked to bold moves and superstar trades, but none would compare to the impact of adding the Greek Freak to this franchise. Throughout the offseason, Giannis has been surrounded by speculation. Questions have grown about his patience with Milwaukee, his hunger for more championships, and his desire to compete for another title. The New York Knicks are considered the most likely landing spot if he leaves, but every time Giannis's name comes up, the Warriors seem to be quietly paying attention, studying the right moment to act. NBA insider Sam Amick revealed that Curry and Giannis share the same agency and maintain a friendly relationship. For now, there are no secret meetings or hidden negotiations, but the NBA never works solely in the present. It thrives on ambition, meeting opportunity. And if that opportunity crosses the San Francisco Bay, basketball history could take a turn no one has dared to imagine. Golden State stands at a crossroads few teams have ever faced. Curry still terrifies defenders, yet the roster around him is not what it used to be during the 2017 and 2018 glory years. The front office is trying to rebuild while competing for a title, a nearly impossible mission. Jordan Poole is gone. Klay Thompson is not the same player he once was. Jonathan Kuminga's development continues to fluctuate, and the bench remains inconsistent. The greatest fear among fans is slowly becoming real. The dynasty might fade away with Curry when he finally retires. But what if it doesn't end that way? What if, instead of falling, it rises again? What if the world witnesses a second Warriors era, the era of Giannis? Giannis Antetokounmpo is not just a star. He is the most physically dominant force in today's game. In the first 3 matches of this season alone, his numbers have been astonishing. 36 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, and 68% shooting from the field. At 30, he is in his absolute prime, unsatisfied, hungry, and still chasing greatness. Now imagine the scene. A fast break with Giannis charging down the court, Curry sprinting along the left wing, and Klay positioned in the right corner. The defender glances toward Curry, hesitates for just a second, and Giannis hammers down a dunk so fierce the backboard vibrates. Who do you guard? Who do you double? The defense runs out of answers. In a pick and roll, it's a no-win situation. Double Curry, and Giannis finishes with an alley-oop. Double Giannis, and Curry drains an open 3. It's nearly unfair. Offensively, this combination would be a nightmare for every other team. Defensively, it could be even more devastating. Giannis next to Draymond Green would create a moving fortress. Intelligent, strong, and capable of guarding all 5 positions. They would dominate the paint and control the perimeter, forming a defense that could once again become the league's best. The question, of course, is how to make it happen. Acquiring a superstar of this magnitude would require major sacrifices. Milwaukee would only consider a trade if the offer was overwhelming. Something like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Andrew Wiggins, multiple first-round picks, and pick swaps. It's a steep cost, the kind of move that takes the breath out of a fan base. But the real question is winning now worth more than the hope of winning years from now? If Curry has only 2 or 3 elite seasons left, can the Warriors afford to waste them? Giannis could be the bridge between eras, the beginning of a new chapter before the current one closes. Imagine a playoff lineup of Curry, Klay, Wiggins, Giannis, and Draymond. Or an even scarier version with Curry, Podziemski, Kuminga, Draymond, and Giannis. That lineup wouldn't just be strong, it would be suffocating. It would be a dynasty trying to rise once more from its own ashes. It's the kind of storyline that Hollywood would approve without changing a word. The greatest shooter of all time, passing the torch to the most physically dominant player of the modern era. 2 MVPs, 2 champions, 2 icons who redefined basketball. Curry, closing out his legendary career as Giannis, begins his own in the same blue and gold colors. That's the essence of greatness. But every dream has another side. If the Warriors trade away Kuminga, their future draft picks, and what remains of their young core, then the entire future of the franchise would rest in Giannis's hands. If something went wrong, injuries, chemistry issues, or decline in performance, the result could be an irreversible fall. Yet can anyone win championships without taking risks? Sometimes being too cautious, especially when Stephen Curry is still playing at this level, might be the biggest mistake of all. There's also pressure on Milwaukee's side. If the Bucks fail to perform, if the team stagnates, or if Giannis shows signs of frustration, each loss will become a countdown to his departure. The Warriors don't need to rush. They only need to observe carefully and be ready when the right opportunity appears. If that moment ever comes, the NBA landscape would change completely. Denver would go into survival mode. The Lakers could fall out of contention. The Suns would scramble to respond. The Knicks would lose the emotional momentum they've been building, and the entire basketball world would stop to watch. Dub Nation, this rumor might not be reality yet, but it's far from impossible. It's a believable, achievable future. One built on courage, vision, and a little bit of luck. The Curry dynasty doesn't need to fade quietly. It can evolve into the Giannis dynasty. So here's the question. If the chance arises, would you trade the team's entire future for more championships right now? Would you make the move that could make the Warriors eternal and ensure Curry's farewell isn't the end of an era, but the beginning of another? Think about it, Dub Nation. Yes, go all in for Curry. But remember, the future still matters. Stay tuned, because if this rumor ever turns into breaking news, the basketball world will never be the same again. Go Warriors! Go Dub Nation!